Some anxious-looking men on the far side of the stadium. Here come the semi-finals in the men's 1500 metres. Both races absolutely loaded with talent.
No, this first one is exceptional. If you throw in Cronier maybe and McAloofry from the next semi-final, this could be a final. The amount of talent in this fighting for 5 places is exceptional.
Well, you've got Asbel Kiprop, the 3rd fastest man in history. Silas Kiplagat, the 4th fastest. First 5 and 2 fastest losers. Lionel Manzano, the Olympic silver medalist from America. Matt Centrovitz, who's got medals in the last 2 editions of the World Championship. Ozbilen Gebremedin, Nick Willis, an Olympic silver medalist in this stadium. This is a huge, huge task for the men faced with the prospect of finishing in the first 5. As you said, Steve, everywhere you look in this race, it's top quality.
Well, if I'd been given this the night before, I'd have lost some sleep overnight because it's a pretty tough qualification. There's Matt Centrovitz, great tactician, this man. Run against his father, Matt Centrovitz Senior. He knows exactly what to do at the right time. Great tactician, especially in a slow race, Matt.
Well, he's going to need to be on the money. Bronze in Daegu, silver in Moscow, just missed a medal in London. The US national champion. Silas Kiplagat, well, there's so much talent. We've gone past one of the fastest of all time and the silver medalist from Daegu. And we've gone past Manzano. This is Nick Willis. PB this year, he's gone inside 3:30. Commonwealth champion back in Melbourne, silver medalist here in Beijing. And then on the inside, the man we just love to watch at this distance, fastest in the world this year, 3rd quickest in history, Asbel Kiprop. Gold in Daegu, gold in Moscow. Can he make sure of safe passage here? As we've said a few times with him, Steve, he's absolutely phenomenal, but he can take his eye off the ball tactically and leave himself too much to do, and he can't afford to do that in this race because there's so much talent lining up.
That's right, but true talent sometimes gets lazy, and that's Asbel's biggest problem. He just rushes to the back of the field and leaves too much sometimes to get back.
Well, as Steve Ovett said, and he knows a thing or two about running 1500 metres, this semi-final absolutely packed with talent. And as predicted, Asbel Kiprop has rushed to the back of the field. Peter-Jan Hannes is tucking in on the inside, European under-23 1500 and cross-country gold medalist a couple of years ago, and he had a very good running qualification. He's tucking in on the inside, but this already, Steve, looks as though it's going to be very, very tactical.
Yeah, this is slow. There's Ben Seguir there. Centrovitz, though, using his head, getting out of the problem, getting to the front of a race, because in this sort of race, anybody can break, even at the 800 metres to go. If you lose 2 or 3 metres, you could be out of it. Matt, I think, is doing the perfect thing, as always, getting himself out of trouble. Manzano, the other American, coming wide now at the outside. He's a small man, he can accelerate fast, but he doesn't want to be boxed.
So we've got Centrovitz, the small figure leading. Hannes is in 2nd place. Silas Kiplagat back in 5th. He's one of the fastest in the world. Diaz of Chile running well on the outside. He's in 3rd. Manzano's boxed in at the moment, and Kiprop just beginning to lope his way up. And in fact, uncharacteristically, Kiprop, in the space of about 20 metres, has gone from the back to the front.
Yeah, well, that's how easy it is for him, really. They were waiting for him, I think, to a certain extent. And he's doing the right thing. You don't want to linger too long at the back with the likes of Centrovitz, Igadi, and all these sort of guys that can run really fast over the last 20 metres or 200 metres or so. You just got to get to the front. And because of that, you can see they're now stretching out 2 or 3 wide across the track, making sure that there's no problem if there's a break.
Ozbilen is tucked in 2nd place, the expatriated Kenyan, 3rd in the Stockholm Diamond League, was 6th in the Europeans 3 years ago. Kiprop being much more sensible here.
Yeah, it's a very slow pace. Look at that, 2:08. Well, this is boiling down to an 800-metre race here, really, at this stage. There's Manzano coming through, Gebremedin on the outside. Charlie Grice from my club back in the, it's not Charlie Grice, it's O'Hara, I should say, coming back on the outside there for Great Britain. Ozbilen looking good, though. He's also there on the heels of Asbel.
And ever so gently, the pace is beginning to bubble up. I just watched Asbel Kiprop there. We got a little glimpse of him looking up into the huge screens at the end of the stadium, just assessing who's there. Gebri Meedin's in the mix, world indoor bronze medalist 3 years ago. And look at the Briton, Chris O'Hare, challenging for the lead. They hit the bell in the first semi-final of the men's 1500 metres. Asbel Kiprop, the double world champion, leads. Özbilen, the expatriated Kenyan, representing Turkey in second. O'Hare is on the inside, having a good tactical run. Gebri Meedin, the Ethiopian, coming wide on the outside, 55.8, and that's done some damage as they head down the back straight. Remember, only the first 5 to go through, and Centrovitz trying to come wide on the outside and get himself in the mix. Even Silas Kiplagat, the 5th fastest in history, is having to work to hang on as Nick Willis, the former Olympic silver medalist, tries to close the gap. Kiprop is exactly where he needs to be here. Good run from O'Hare at the moment. Silas Kiplagat finding room on the inside. Willis coming wide on the outside. Kiprop is leading this one. It's been very sensible from him. Kiprop, Kiplagat, Willis, Manzano. Manzano may have come through wide on the outside. Centrovitz was safely home. That was much, much better from Asbel Kiprop. Nick Willis came through late. I think he may have finished in second place, just ahead of Kiplagat. The question mark there for me was whether Lionel Manzano just nicked the 5th spot. But Kiprop, much, much better tactically.
Yeah, well, he had to, really. It's a gamble if you leave it too late for anybody, even the likes of Asbel Kiprop over the last lap. Just looking up at the scoreboard, Asbel, that's how relaxed he is. Look at this. And look at the faces behind him. O'Hare losing out, really, in the end as the other charges through. Centrovitz still looks very good, though, the American, looking around. Nick Willis coming through, obviously very strong and experienced. A good run from him as well.
And Manzano did indeed nick the 5th spot by 3/100ths of a second from Gebri Meedin. Chris O'Hare, who was in a perfect position, the Briton, he'll have to wait to see if he goes through as a fastest loser, but at 3:44, I'm not sure. That was much better from Kiprop. Really impressive from Asbel Kiprop. Good finish from Nick Willis. So Kiprop and Kiplagat going through. Confirmation of a great run tactically from Asbel Kiprop. He looks pin sharp. Willis also there, Kiplagat, Centrovitz and Manzano. Gebri Meedin and O'Hare will have to wait to see, but surely 3:44 won't be enough to go through as fastest losers.
Well, this second semi-final not so loaded, really. It can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief when they saw that coming out yesterday. But it's still 5 to qualify, and it's tough. Obviously, Olympic champion there, Tukif Makalufi. He goes in lane 9. Igadir also one to watch. Kroni of South Africa. These 3 probably the best in the field so far, but in a slow race, anybody can do it. There's Igadir. 3rd in Olympics. Morocco's only medal at those games. He's very fast over the last 200 metres or so. Doesn't sometimes like a faster pace, although his personal best is below 3:30. He prefers to kick.
3rd fastest athlete in the world this year. Great run in Monaco.
There he is, the Olympic champion, bit of a mystery man, this. Disappeared off the scene after the Olympics and really just come back again into form for these World Championships. The Algerian obviously is the man to watch. Moving quickly through the field, there's Wote, the Ethiopian record holder, Charlie Grist from my club back in the UK. Bastos making up the field, the Spaniard on the inside, the bronze medalist from the European. So not exactly a high-class field if you call it that, but nonetheless, this is a semi-final at the World Championships. They're off. The Kalufi in the white and green shorts, they're coming across. Just on the inside, it looks as if the first of the Kenyans, Manganoi, now just moving ahead of his teammate on the outside, Timothy Chariot. Chariot second in those Kenyan championships. So the 2 Kenyans, I think, decided maybe they'd just like to push it on a bit, although the pace isn't fast. It looks about 60 seconds, 61, 62. But remember, the previous semi went through the 800 metres in 2:08.
Yes, they've got an opportunity to get 7 across the line here. Manangoi had a really good run in the heats. He looked very sharp tactically. There he is. Chariot, much younger, just 19 years of age, a huge talent for the future. He's yet to go inside 3:34, but the 2 Kenyans running very, very sensibly here. Bustos, the Spaniard, tucked in on the inside, and Maklufi just watching and waiting there in 4th place, the Olympic champion, the 4th fastest of all time over 1,000 metres.
Well, as I said, around about 60 seconds, so a bit more respectable than the first of the semi-finals. Remember, it's the 2 fastest losers through to the final. So not a great deal of room for manoeuvre, really, is there? So the 2 Kenyans doing as much as they can at the moment just to hold the field at bay. Coming through out there on the far side is Aduni of France. Makalufi in the middle, just trying to get himself extricated now from that pack. Charlie Grist of Great Britain in about 6th place. Bastos of Spain just in 4th at the moment.
And Igida ominously poised, running out on the shoulder of Charlie Grist. He's in about 6th place, making sure he's in a position to cover the moves. But a good steady pace being set by the 2 Kenyans here, and a good run by the youngster, the 19-year-old Chariot, out on the outside of the slightly more experienced runner, his countryman Manangoi.
Well, Chariot now starting to stretch out, just easing the pace a little bit more. Mangaloi, there it is, another 60 seconds really. Igadir coming wide, Wolte coming wide. Krone, he's a good runner, coming out on the outside. Good tactical move from the South African here. Just coming up to 600 metres to go now. It's tension time in the semi-finals, just 5 to qualify. Mikalufi moving through very ominously in 5th place at the moment. Igadir is there. The 2 Kenyans looking really well. Manganoi and Chariot. Well, they're bunching up. Mikalufi very fast if he has to be. Igadir also, as I said before, the one to watch. Well, they're coming up to the bow now. Igadir moves through just to grab the place in the pole position on the shoulder there. All to fight for. Charlie Grist coming wide now, the Brit. But you can throw a blanket over these guys, and it's just 5 to qualify. Down the back straight now. Working hard is Manganoi, the young Kenyan. Igadir is there. Mikalufi is coming wide. Charlie Grist in 4th at the moment. Just behind him, you can see Adomi of France. Here he goes, Mikalufi, the Olympic champion. It's Mikalufi and Mangaloi now, just coming hard around the bend. Just behind them, Igadir. Then Charlie Grist holding on. Andrews, the American, is coming hard. Mikalufi looks up at the scoreboard. They're coming wide here. Mangaloi is still there. Mikalufi is there. Igadir is there. These 3 are going clear. 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Mangaloi looks good. Mikalufi is there. Igadir is there. Charlie Grist in 4th place. And in 5th place, I think it was Matthews of the United States. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, good running there. And I make it that the athletes in 6th and 7th will definitely go through as fastest losers. That could be good news for Robbie Andrews and for the Ethiopian in that race, Amane Wote. But Manangoi, who was 3rd in the Kenyan trials, really good run.
Well, 3:35.
That's a proper race.
That's a proper race.
I'm afraid the other one I wasn't very keen on.
I mean, that was good racing. That was a proper 50 metres. And it was strange. It wasn't the seeded semi. And yet they always get the better times. It sometimes works out that way.
But they've been rewarded because they'll have 7 in that final. Makalufi looked really comfortable, very sharp. So too did Iguida. You can see Andrews and Wote in 6th and 7th. They're miles clear, so they'll go through, both of them running 3:35.
Charlie Grist, though, 4th place. Good run from him, the Briton. That's a good from the youngster coming through into the senior ranks. Igadir, you'd expect that. He is fast. You'd expect it from Malufi, even faster maybe. But a good run for Mangaloi there. This young Kenyan did everything he had to do and took that semi-final in what, and was it 3:35? Very comfortably indeed. So Galufi congratulating him. Sure that in the final it will be perhaps a harder race for all of these guys.
Well, and Asbel Kiprops had an easy passage with a 3:43 or whatever it was to get through, so good opportunity for the defending champion.
Well, there's the result of that splendid second semi-final of the 1,500 metres. Manganoi winning in 3:35, but look at that, all 12 way faster than anything we saw in the first heat. So the first 7 there going through to the final. And there's a summary, the little cues from Andrews and Wote, who were 6th and 7th in that race. That very slow first race, but the big names nonetheless went through from it.